Okay, this is Mr. Tim, the garden teacher here at Casablanca Community School. I got it right. This is Miss Kraft, who's our science teacher and who is wonderful, but she doesn't like worms, so she's not going to be much help now with our worm bin. Oh, where are my worms? Oh, here they are. Sorry. Sorry. I'm like totally excited today because I'm getting new worms. So we have an in-ground worm bin that I built last year, and when I dug into it today, we found a little bit of worms. And I will try to find one or two that we can show here. That is a very beautiful, wonderful worm. Can you see him? Mm-hmm. So this tells me that our worms are doing good. What I want to do, we got this new school a little over a year and a half ago. There we go. And to me, there were no worms at all. It was very, very sad. We have a wonderful garden program. You can see our lemongrass right here is going crazy. There's some mint. There's some other things. That's kind of dead chili plants because of the cold, and that's arugula. So we have a lot of different things, and the idea is for our kids to eat lots of things and learn lots of things about the garden and understand how agriculture works and how to have healthy foods, fruits and vegetables. So I went to, I didn't go, I ordered from Arizona Worm Farms. Is the best place in Arizona to get worms, I think. I'm going to make this a commercial for them too because they're a wonderful company. They grow their own worms like crazy. And they give you what's called a bed run bag. It's about a pound, and I think they said it should be at least 500 worms and baby worms and maybe some cocoons, but it mostly is worms. So I did this last year. I took a 5-gallon bucket, I made holes in it, and I sunk it down in the ground, and then I added things for the worms to eat. And this way, when the worms want to, they can crawl out and go over here and visit the fig trees, and then they come back underground so they can spread out into the ground. What I want to do is have worms all over our garden in the ground. So are you ready? So when I dump this out, you are going to see worm heaven. Well, kind of worm heaven.
Oh no, it's worm heaven. You see it.
Can you see all the little worms?
Yeah.
And there's whole bunches. Oh, I don't know what that's something that was growing. But you can see these are called red wigglers, and they're red and they wiggle, so it's a good name for them. I'm always very careful. The kids love to pick up the worms. Love, love, love. Even the girls who first get all squirrely and squeamy and don't want to pick up the worms, then we teach them how. We never scream at the worms because the worms don't like that. And Mr. Tim does not like that at all. So anyway, this should be at least 500 little worms that are in here. And Miss Kraft is worm averse, so she's not going to touch any worms. But she's going to help me. We have a bag of fall leaves here. Miss Kraft is going to take some in her beautiful hands, and crunch them up a little bit. And this is good worm food. I'm going to give them part of this old kind of stinky watermelon that my friend Mike grew. And I think the worms will love that a great deal. We will come in with the kids in a couple days, and you don't have to tear them up. You just kind of smash them and throw a little bit more in there. And the worms will love to eat all kinds of this dead material. They'll eat the watermelon. I'm going to give them some coffee grounds. Well, no, I don't want to give them too much coffee grounds because they don't like that a lot. I'm going to get banana peels and eggshells and lots of things that they can eat. And then worms love cardboard, which is made up of paper. I got this a little bit wet. I'm going to get it more wet before we're all done today. I'm also going to give them just some newspaper that I tore up and got nice and soaking wet. They love all paper products. So I'm lightly putting all this in here. Oh no, Bernardo broke the lid. Okay, I have to find a 5-gallon bucket lid to put on here to keep them nice and wet. So if you have, I think we're going to post this on our school website. I'm just going to throw a little dirt on top for insulation. Is there another worm in there? This was there's another one. So it's good. I'm putting that back on there. So this was just dirt that came out of here, and you can see there's old leaves
There's
parts.
a couple in there.
Oh, there's another worm. Yay! I'm so excited.
There's another one right there.
Wow, there's a lot more worms. The other worm bin had like no worms in it. I was very disappointed. But this one did. Well, and now I should probably put them back in.
Do you think any worms that get left behind, they'll eventually find themselves down in there?
They will just, they don't like being out here in the light. So this one, if we watched it, which we may not have time to do, would probably just sit here and then make a little hole, and he would dig his own hole and eat his way into the ground. But we're going to try to make life a little easier for him by putting him back with the dirt he's familiar with and where he has lots of nice newspaper to eat. And yeah, I'm glad you guys helped me pick those up. Well, you didn't help me. You helped me find them. I know Miss Kraft doesn't want to help pick them up.
No, but I will.
She will look for worms, but she won't touch worms. So what this is going to do is we're we're going to try to keep it's hard for worms here in the summertime, which is why I keep them down in the ground, have to keep them wet. And then these little fig trees have no leaves right now. They have some kind of old dried up figs on them, which are no good. But then in the summertime, this will give the worms shade. We'll probably put some straw on here to give them a little bit of shade too, some mulch. And then what we hope is the worms have buckets, the whole bucket has holes in it, so they will be able to go in and out. And then my plan is these worms are going to establish themselves, and then next year we come in the wintertime, anywhere we dig in the garden, we'll find worms. And that will be a great sign of soil health. It will make our plants happier. It'll make the worms happy. It'll make me radiantly happy, which of course is very important. And Ms. Kraft won't really care very much, but actually what she might care about is we could have like a little worm bin in your classroom, and they could observe them and learn a great deal about the worms that way.
Oh, we would love that.
You wouldn't have to touch them.
I don't have to touch them.
Okay.
But we love to observe.
Okay, observing is good. Okay, so we'll try to post this on our school website. And if you have questions, I'm Farmer Tim, and I know all about worms. This is Miss Kraft. She knows all about science. So ask her the science questions, ask me the worm questions, but don't ask Miss Kraft to touch the worms because she's not going to do it. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope you learned about worms.